Senior Rotax time at Glanagorse Park. It's Brett Ward and Connor Hall on the front row of the grid from Gary Donnelly and Luke Knott, with Sam Marsh, James Johnson, Scott Mackerel, Charlie Turner, Danny Russell and Matthew Hurst rounding out the top 10. Keep an eye on Jack Constable in P12. He could be a hard charger. Josh Collings in 15th on the grid as well. Will want a good run on Welsh soil. Here we go. Cracking start from the 5 of Sam Marsh. He gets a good getaway. Round the outside comes Hurst. Couple of drivers on the grass that look like Jamie Alexander and Spencer Barrow having to take to the inside line of the grass. Everything was very congested indeed. We're on board with James Johnson chasing after Luke Knott in the 44 up to the top of the hill for the first time on the inside. Oh, contact! That's Constable, and I think it was Hurst he took with him.
Yeah, Constable got a great start behind Hurst through turn 1, so Hurst went through, Constable went with him, but looks like they've tangled up in the spoon. We're on board here with James Johnson, that's 44, Luke Knott in front, and that's 5th place for Knott, 4 karts out front. Leading is Brett Ward. Ward that's on the 45 that leads it through the final turn and across the start-finish line.
Now it's up to these two to try and charge forward a little bit. Oh no, that's Constable. He's been given a disallowed lap there. The first lap has been disallowed. That puts him last.
Well, he's missed part of the circuit apparently now. They tangled here in the spoon. Now look at you can see the cut-off there. You can go straight through on that piece of tarmac to rejoin further down. You see at the top of the circuit there is a cut through. Maybe he's cut through there and missed. He hasn't gone down the hill and come back up, but it looks like he's missed part of the circuit. The clerk of the course, I think it's Ken Potter, the clerk of the course, has seen that, and he's given him a 1-lap penalty. What a move there, Jake.
Yeah, that's Jamie Alexander getting an absolute stormer on the inside of Charlie Turner at Devil's Elbow. You need to have some stones to pull off a move like that, and that was an absolutely cracking overtake for 7th position. Jamie Alexander, one of the privateers. Whoa!
Another nice move. That's Connor Hall on his teammate Gary Donnelly.
Beautifully timed as well, because he left that to the last possible minute to get on the brakes and slide through. Absolutely perfect. Luke Knott now right on the back of Sam Marsh, just behind these two as well. Marsh doing his best on the DHR card, of course, to hold up Luke Knott on the Strawberry Racing machine, but it's still very much large and in charge for Brett Ward out front. The AIM Motorsport machine absolutely dominant at the moment. Look at that lead.
Massively by Brett Ward. Very unusual for somebody to break away this early. But it's Connor Hall in 2nd place. Donnelly chasing him. Donnelly had a bit of a nightmare at Buckmore Park. Had to pull off in the early stages, and that's damaged his championship aspirations. And Alexander, the privateer on the Tony kart, goes through and gives that all-important push signal.
That is such a cheeky thing to do for a racing driver, isn't it? I've overtaken you. Right, now work with me, let's push. That's the last thing as a racing driver you want to do, is work with the man who's just shown you a clean pair of heels. Absolutely brilliant driving from Alexander today. And here comes Charlie Turner. I think he's managed to make the move as well on James Johnson. So both of them have managed to get him very much napping there on that last lap. We'll watch them come back up the hill. Johnson is in danger of being a bit of a sitting target here. I think that's Mackerel and Collings making their way through. There's Mackerel. He makes his way through in the Coles racing cart. So unfortunately, James Johnson, the 35, appears to be going backwards down the field from 6th position on the starting grid. He is now really struggling here.
Brett Ward it is out front then, comfortable lead from Hall in 2nd, Marsh is 3rd, Donnelly there on the 29 in 4th place, then comes Luke Knott on the 44, not the winner at Buckmore Park, making that great move down to the bottom of the circuit on the last lap on his teammate to take the win that day.
Alexander, Turner and Collings are next up, of course, and there is the 17 of Josh White fighting his way back through the field, trying to work up the order once again. As into the top hander again, Charlie Turner getting a very decisive move there on the 20 of Jamie Alexander. That's revenge for earlier on. Mackerel's going to get up the inside. Johnson's going to get up the inside as well. Jamie Alexander's hard work that he made that fantastic move into Devil's Elbow, that's all undone now, and he's lost 3 places.
That was a fantastic move by Scott Mackerel, and equally good by James Johnson to follow him through. Really clean racing. That's what you want to see. Fantastic fantastic move by the pair. And look at this, Ward out front by 2.33 seconds.
Well, in this sport, in this category, this early in the race, that might as well be half a minute, never mind 2.5 seconds. It is absolutely gargantuan in terms of gap between first and second at this stage. Now, Sam Marsh looking threatening here on the back of Gary Donnelly once again. These two swapping places through this race every time they come through the lap. So it is very interesting to see these two continuing their squabble. Luke Knott on the 44 just sitting behind them in 5th position. He doesn't have to panic at this point. He's got plenty of pace in reserve. He can wait and pounce in the last 2 or 3 laps and get himself a position. Here he goes. He's decided not to wait. He goes up the inside there. Great work from the Strawberry Racing driver. Up to P4 he goes.
The lead here, 2.33 seconds, we were talking about earlier, is not insurmountable because we saw Sam Marsh had over a 2-second lead at Buckmore Park, but they managed to close him down and ended up down in 3rd place, did Sam Marsh on that day. But I have to say, I'm not sure they're going to be catching Brett Ward today.
Well, Luke Knott's first target is to try and get onto the podium, and to do that he's got to catch up to his teammate, the 29 Gary Donnelly in front here, and of course in second position the 22 of Connor Hall. So Strawberry Racing looking for an absolute rout in this one. There's the 35 of James Johnson, currently battling it out with Russell, Danny Russell that is. So here come your drivers through. Ward is already gone clear, Hall second, Donnelly, Marsh, Mackerel, Turner, Johnson, Russell. Alexander is there behind from Collins, and Josh White in the 17 trying to move himself further up the order. That is the top 11 at this point in time, trying to make the move up past Johnson again. Danny Russell having another strong weekend here, hoping for a little bit more than 8th place though, and looking at the way that Johnson has been scrapping through this one, Danny Russell might find him a bit of an easy job to pass, although he seems to be getting the pace back up again.
Yeah, I think Johnson's had a bit of a problem. Looks like he's got it back together now. Here are the race leaders though. This is the battle for second and third. Hall and Donnelly. And they're followed there, pursued by Luke Knott on the 44, and the championship leader, number 5, Sam Marsh, comes next.
What do you do here as a driver when you're sat in second position, as Connor Hall currently is, desperately trying to decimate that gap to the leader out in front? You've just got to keep pushing and hope that something goes wrong for Brett Ward. It must be so difficult being in that situation when you're kind of in no man's land, really. You can't push, you can't afford to ease up and allow somebody to cooperate with you. You just kind of have to keep on going.
Well, you've got to keep pushing, and at the end of the day, he's in second place. It's good championship points. If he ends up in second, he'll go away from here thinking, that's a decent weekend. 48 going through the shot there. Danny Russell for 3D Racing.
4th position, Knott, Marsh, Mackerel, Turner. Then this battle for 8th, Johnson, Russell, Alexander, Collins and White. And look how hard Connor Hall is pushing. He's definitely not given up yet. He still thinks that that gap is surmountable. And here is the man out in front, Brett Ward, looking very strong indeed, very quick at the bottom of the hill indeed as well. So this man certainly seems to have made Glenagorse Park his own this weekend. Winner of the earlier final by 2.7 seconds, by the way. And it looks as if he's going to finish by a similar sort of margin in the televised final. Out of the final turn once again to begin another lap. Let's keep an eye on what's going on behind him. There's Ward, your leader. Second, Connor Hall. Donnelly is there, getting a little bit closer actually. Not in 4th, Marsh. And it's Mackerel, Turner. Then here comes the battle. Johnson, Russell, Alexander, Collins, and Josh White in the 17 just in behind as well. But Brett Ward has absolutely nailed this one at the moment. He is dominating in fine style. We're on board with James Johnson as he comes into the right-hander. Whoop, thanks very much. That's Danny Russell making his way through. He's finally got the move done on the 3D Racing kart number 48, and despite a little bit of a nudge from Johnson, it looks as though Danny Russell has got the position nicely sorted out.
Danny Russell looking like a Mexican with that new moustache. He's still growing it. No handlebars at the moment. That's what you want.
Well, Nigel Mansell was always quicker with his moustache. Don't forget that. So obviously there must be some kind of downforce trick that he's playing with it. Oh, and Russell trying to defend now from Johnson, Alexander, and here comes Collins into the mix as well. Russell shuts the door. Johnson has got onto the back of him, and here on the left side we should have another kart trying to get into this mix. I think it's Jamie Alexander trying to get back in, but he hasn't quite been able to slot his way past Johnson.
Here they come down the bottom of the hill. That's Charlie Turner going through the shot. Here's that battle we've just been looking at. That's Danny Russell in front of Johnson, and Josh Collins it is that was the kart coming round, trying to go round the outside of them up the straight. Couldn't get that done, but Collins trying to make up a couple of places here.
And again, Jamie Alexander was left out to dry because it looked as though Josh White got through in the 17 as well. Yes, indeed, Jamie Alexander down to the back of that queue, unfortunately. So again, all that hard work. Every time he gets near somebody to go for an overtaking move, he pulls off a fantastic move, and then it just all gets thrown away from him.
So there's the race leader currently, and he's going to be leading all the way to the lines. We saw Sam Marsh with a comfortable lead at Buckmore Park. He was hunted down that day. We're coming towards the last lap boards. It comes down to the final turn. The right-hander here will get the last lap board this time. He's had a comfortable lead throughout, and he's not going to be closed down. That's Hall in second, Donnelly third, Knott is fourth, then Marsh, Mackerel, Charlie Turner. Knott's put in the fastest lap on the 44, 42.19, but it's not quick enough to take the win.
Leading rookie is Stephanie Levasconte, yet another Venezuelan making the transition to British national karting after the likes of Rodolfo Gonzalez and Manuel Maldonado. Leading privateer, still Jamie Alexander, still hoping to get inside that top 10, but this man has been flawless throughout. Just watching him, even on this last lap, that kart looked absolutely bolted to the racetrack. Brett Ward in through the final couple of corners, through the left-hander and into the final right, and he has blitzed the meeting in fine style. Brett Ward takes the checkered flag, but controversy afterwards, he is excluded from the meeting for a technical non-compliance. So that hands victory to the man behind him on the road. Connor Hall taking the win from Gary Donnelly. Luke Knott rounding out the podium for an absolute rout from Strawberry Racing. 1, 2 and 3. Sam Marsh in fourth from Scott Mackerel, Charlie Turner, Danny Russell, James Johnson and Josh Collins and Josh White rounding out the top 10. Strawberry Racing couldn't be happier with their boys first, second and third, but a great win for Connor Hall.
Good win for you today. I know you're disappointed at Buckmore Park getting done on the last lap there by your teammate, but much better today. You must be happy with that win.
Yeah, really pleased with the win. Went back a bit at the start, but managed to get back up to second and end up with a win. Just like to say a big thanks to Strawberry Racing, Bristol Sport and Trojan Fitness.
The DJI Inspire 1 drone camera takes off in preparation for the penultimate race of the weekend here at Glenagorse Park. Junior TKM is up next.